Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 30th episode and the amazing return of
the Poorly Planned Podcast. My goodness, it's been too long.
I mean, some would say it hasn't been long enough. By some, I mean both of us.
True.
My name is Benedict. You probably know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense.
Nonsense.
With me, as always, is my co-host, friend?
Question mark. And?
An
all-around hot dude. Frederick. It's a pleasure being back, guys. I have missed my platform.
To speak my political views. We're back after a long in the New York groove. Also in the podcasting world, because the most awkward silence fills the air
for 2 minutes straight.
We're back with a pod after. I mean, for us, it's been over
a year.
All these been pre-recorded. For us, we're
just amazing at predicting news.
It's been like 2 months because the last one we recorded and then it took me like way too long to edit it. But
she's incompetent.
For you guys, it's been like a month and a half. But point is, it's been a long time. But we're back in the New York groove.
Nailed it that time.
Friendship achieved. So yeah, in case you are new here or don't know what's going on. Yeah, sorry if you're new.
Click off.
Shut up. There are time codes in the description to what we talk about. We're going to talk about what we watched over the past 2 months. We're going to talk about some of the biggest news from over the past 2 months.
News?
Which isn't really news, but it'll count.
Oh.
And we're going to talk about, that's it actually. That's all we do.
And yeah, that's it.
Time codes. Also,
time codes. Actual brawl.
Spoilers for everything we talk about. That's why they're time codes. Also, so you can skip around, but we're gonna spoil everything we talk about. We may not spoil anything in that great detail, but I'm just putting that net over so people don't get mad.
Yeah, and so we don't have to keep saying spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you haven't seen something but you don't really care about spoilers, just keep listening. But if it's like Venom or something relatively new and you care,
and Monty Python.
Yeah, well, I think with the big ones like Venom and Predator, we're going to give like a second spoiler, just to reiterate in case people have missed this.
Will we?
Nah. We're going to prank it. And yeah, also I want to clarify that this was recorded on October 15th, 2018, which will probably be a little bit before it actually goes up. So this was recorded on Monday.
I thought it was a bit later than when it goes up. I'll watch this October 14th.
So, some news may be a little out of date, or something we say might be a little, might seem like old news or outdated information, but it's because we're recording it early for you guys, because we're just that good of dudes.
Yeah, we are that good of dudes.
So, I think, without further ado,
let's end the pod.
Let's just jump into it.
Oh my!
Where
have I heard that before?
Yeah, you know where you've heard it. He's in a big scandal actually these days.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's he done?
Let's not start a DeFranco talk.
No, I need a DeFranco talk.
He did like a thing with this company called BetterHelp, and now everyone's anyway.
BetterHelp.
No one can do a better tune than me. So mini reviews.
Quote that in the podcast. Nobody can do a better tune than me.
First of all, I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's pretty great because it's
pretty Grail.
People will think we actually just left the room.
Your door smack.
Your hand smack. The thing is, I have this Netflix list and HBO list of all the stuff on Netflix and HBO that I want to watch. It's such a disaster. We're so out of practice for this. Not this is ever any better. Monty Python, yeah. So I was thinking, like, what do I want to...
Back to business.
I'm never in the mood to like watch like intense drama or whatever, because I'm always just, I want to, something light, something kind of, wow, that is the loudest car. And so I was like, I'll watch Monty Python because it's a classic, never seen it. I watched it, and it's
really dramatic.
I was really disappointed. It's really, really funny, yeah. It's the thing about comedy is that it often doesn't age very well, especially from like the 60s. It's gonna be like really Freddie's giving me the help. It's gonna be like
it explains everything. Sorry guys, Freddie was just giving me the help.
Yeah, but this actually, I haven't watched a lot of other Monty Python stuff, but I've watched the other one with John Cleese, Fawlty Towers. I think we talked about it a while back, and that's still great. But yeah, it's not from the 60s. Is it from the 70s?
60s or 70s.
Yeah, but there is some stuff that's kind of like, You know, like, I mean, as they are with any comedy, but the vast majority of it was really, really funny.
Do you like the holy hand grenade?
I did, yeah.
Thou shalt count to 3, no more, no less.
That also put into perspective. That put perspective on Ready Player One, where they used the holy hand grenade.
Oh,
and I heard everyone complaining like he doesn't count to 3, and I was like, I don't get the joke. But then,
but now
it's funny. The main thing that stood out to me, the one that I remember laughing at the most, was the knights who say "ni."
Very good.
That's probably my favorite part.
We want a shrubbery now.
Yes. Why do you know every line? You watched Deadpool 2 again
Yesterday with my dad, and he loved it.
You and your dad have weird movie watching and TV watching habits. Like, you watch
It's so
stuff
good.
that father and son should not watch together. I.e. Game of Thrones or...
And My Little Pony.
Wait, so he liked it?
He really did. Especially, he loved Domino and, like, how she's so lucky. For some reason, that really got to him, so he's, like, sitting there laughing.
Yeah, because he's not lucky at all.
Because he's the most unlucky man alive.
He ended up with you. It's still good, because the thing
Well,
about...
not anymore.
The thing about Deadpool 2 to me is, I really loved it when I saw it, but it's kind of just like faded in my memory since then. It's kind of like, and this is the weirdest comparison, but you know the live action Jungle Book movie that came out? I saw that and I loved it at the time, and then as time went on, I was like, oh, that was a movie. Like, I don't remember anything about it really. I should rewatch it, because I don't really, so it holds up. Yeah, it holds up is what you're saying.
It does. It very much does. Well, I've only seen it twice. The first half, I liked less than the second.
What even happens in the first half?
Like, he meets Russell, his girlfriend dies, he goes to the prison.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a bit slow, I think.
Yeah. The most stuff I remember...
Yeah, for sure.
The most stuff I remember about is the X-Force scene.
That's very good.
That's like the one thing that I really remember about it. But yeah. Did you hear about what they're doing with... They're making a PG-13 cut that they're going to release around Christmas.
A PG-13 cut?
Yeah, I don't...
What does that even entail?
Like, I guess the only way...
No blood and no swearing?
I guess the only way they can make it work is, like, that's the joke. Like, it's like Deadpool complaining about how he's being censored, but, like, I just don't get why they do it. Like, I don't really understand it.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. There's a whole Fox thing that we'll get into. Speaking of things that make no sense. Segue.
Perfect.
I watched Iron Fist Season 2. Not really. I watched the first 2 episodes.
And how was Danny Rand? How's he doing?
He's okay. He's he's living on the street or something.
What? Why? I thought he was like a billionaire.
he's a billionaire, but he's like, I don't want to live the billionaire life. I want to live like the cool street man life. He's not living on the street. He's living like in a house, but he works on the street and he like carries boxes and stuff.
Such a classic
Robin Hood.
I was gonna say Aladdin Yasmin-esque thing.
Does he work on the street still after?
No, but she doesn't want to be a princess.
Oh yeah. He's a real Jasmine.
He pulled a fat Jafar.
We have actually some Jafar news later, but we'll get to that later.
We actually have some Jafar news.
The thing is, though, the big news that came out about this, because, okay, I was watching it, it's 10 episodes instead of 13, so that's already a good sign. The first 2 episodes, they're pretty solid, they're not amazing, but, like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I was going to keep watching, but I've kind of been a little busy. But the thing that happened, I think, yesterday, it got canceled. Iron Fist Season 3 is no longer happening.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because
it's so bad.
I mean, the first season sucked, and the second season got, like, pretty good response, but not amazing, and I guess I didn't get the viewership that they wanted, so they're just like, we're done. But they said Danny Rand will live on.
In our hearts.
So he's probably going to pop up in another show. I am still really hoping for a Luke Cage-Danny team-up season, because I feel like that would be much more interesting than a solo season.
What would they call that?
Heroes for Hire. That's what they're called in the comics, dude.
Heroes for Hire?
Iron Fist Season 2, I'll keep watching it probably, because it's pretty good so far. But on Friday, which will probably be even sooner when this comes out, Daredevil Season 3. We're going to talk about it later. Game of Thrones, I'm still watching. It's really good. I'm on Season 6, Episode 3. I just finished Episode 3. I just saw...
You just sent me the worst snap? What kind of god would have a pecker that small?
Yeah, I saw that part. That was really good. And I saw... Spoilers. We said spoilers. What's his name? Jon Snow. He came back and he had to kill the like, worst boy in the universe.
Oh, Ollie?
Yeah. I was like, I feel bad, but also... He was kind of the worst. I really did like the guy who has that very distinct voice. What's his name? The guy who he also executes there.
Sir Alistair?
Yeah. I love his like deep gravelly voice. You know, it sounds really weird.
I just want to hug him. I don't know. Really, I hate his voice.
I can't do it. It's like, no, I can't.
No.
He dies. That's my impression of him being hung.
Being hung.
Anyway, it's still really, really good.
Jon Snow was my commander.
So bad. He has like a gravelly. He's like,
I'm sorry that I'm so smooth.
Someone's gonna take that out of context. We're just gonna skip this one.
No, we're not. I watched Elementary, and my God, is it amazing?
Has anything interesting happened
Yes.
ever in your personal
Dude,
life?
No.
Still waiting on that big break.
The season ends with Watson getting framed for murder. Why are you laughing at Watson getting framed for murder?
It's quite possibly the most inappropriate time I've laughed at this whole podcast.
Does an Alistair-esque laugh? Anyways, so she gets framed for murder, and then Sherlock takes the fall. He's like, you know what? I'm a fucking confess, even though he didn't do it either. And then they move to London, and it's all good.
Wait, hold up. There's a piece missing in there. Sherlock confesses to murder, and then he moves to London.
He's got ties with the MI6.
He's got gals in different locales.
That he does.
Moving on to the other thing you watched.
Ratatouille.
How is it? How's he doing?
How's Remy? It's still great. Honestly, what's his face? Gusteau is dead.
Wait.
He's the fat chef.
I thought it was
Wait. Remy?
My Gusteau. I thought you were talking about the horrible little one. Remy.
Linguini.
Is that his name?
That's the guy's.
Yeah.
No. The tall main guy is called Linguini.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that movie does not sound as good as I remember it being. It's still good because I haven't.
Because I really didn't like it.
Because like I love it, but I haven't watched it in quite a long time.
It's still good.
I never feel like the same way with like The Incredibles or something like that. I don't feel like compelled to go back and watch it. Maybe I should.
You should. It's very good.
Well, speaking of, let me find a good segue here. Yeah, I can't. Key and Peele. Okay, I've seen.
I don't know why we're talking about Key and Peele. What is this about?
I've really liked Key and Peele for a while, and I've seen, a few of their shorts, like the Substitute Teacher one and the Obama Meet and Greet. And I really love like everything I've seen, and I really like them in movies, and obviously Peele did Get Out, but I hadn't really like watched properly like a bunch of their sketches. So I went on YouTube, I searched a bunch of them up, and they're like just hilarious. I've just had a great time watching them.
Yeah, have you seen the one where they go, I said B?
Yes, that's what they're all so good. So I wrote down a few of my favorites. Auction Block, have you seen that one?
I have.
Awkward Conversation.
Maybe.
I can't explain it. It's too good. Weird Playlist. The Turbulence one. Have you seen that on the plane? That might be my favorite. That is hilarious.
Maybe.
And the Noise one. Anyway, they're all hilarious. I love Key and Peele. Yeah. I'm keep a lookout for what they do next. You watched what I have a lot of over you.
The Hangover. I watched Power. And it's so good.
What is it? I've never heard of this.
It must suck then. It's a series. Very, very good. It's about a guy who owns. It's like about gangsters, not gangster. It's about drug dealers and like drug distributors who then own a nightclub in order to like launder their money. Oof. And then all the stuff that goes on there. It's really good. There's sex. There's violence. There's emotional moments. There's action.
It sounds like you're doing a little Bats-esque monologue. This world is consisting of three things: money, sex,
and action.
Wait, drugs
and action.
Oh, that's faux. Why do you say an action, but then there's also an that's faux? You had to have four.
Sorry.
Yeah, your Bats game is off.
My buddy game, however.
Who's in it though? What were you about to say? Were you about to say some buddy thing?
I was gonna say One Last Ride, then I realized that's Vin Diesel.
Well, I don't know about 50 Cent's acting ability, but
he's so intimidating in it.
Really?
Yeah. It's like I didn't
he was in Spy. That's right.
At first, I thought he was gonna be really bad, but like he's genuinely very, very good, and he like produces, directs some of the things.
I've seen this poster on HBO.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Maybe I will check it out. It sounds kind of interesting.
It is. You need to.
Well, speaking of interesting things, The Hangover. I finally watched The Hangover, which
I'm so happy you did.
Everyone else has
so
seen.
Good.
I watched it, and it's really great. It's super, super funny. And
what's your favorite of the three? Actually, of the four. We'll include Doug.
I don't want to say Doug.
Because Doug has nothing to do. Did you say Doug is your favorite?
But I really like Doug.
I think you'll be the only person ever to say Doug is their favorite in The Hangover.
In the wolf pack. I know, it's gotta be Cooper. Because like,
no, for sure it's Cooper. It's Rocket Raccoon.
Because like they're all very good, but like.
But Cooper's that classic Cooper.
Yeah, Galifianakis is funny, but I can imagine like also everyone says the sequels are terrible. I think I might watch them.
I really like the sequels as well.
I can imagine it getting a little annoying with. I feel like they used the perfect amount of Galifianakis.
That being none.
The director just pours a little Galifianakis in the movie.
A splash of Galifianak.
And I think Helms is also very good, but Helms is also just like very depressing for the first half. Isn't it
tag-esque?
It's kind of sad that Helms gets like typecast as the kind of like depressing average.
His boner doesn't work in The Office.
Why have you seen that clip?
Oh.
Yeah, The Office, The Hangover,
The Tag.
The Tag, Vacation, like a lot of like he's just known as like the kind of pathetic average guy who's like slightly more pathetic than most people. And it's kind of, isn't it sad when like that's your acting call? Well, anyway, Doug.
You look like Doug.
We need to address this real quick. Frederick, for the longest time, because you know, as people do, we sometimes make comparisons to celebrities, like who we look like. I think you personally look a bit like, I was gonna say Sir Alistair, but you know, there are different things that come up, and Freddie says that I look like Doug from The Hangover, which I've always resented, but having seen the movie, he's not a bad looking guy. You know, I'll take it as a compliment.
No, but you don't only resemble him in physical form. You're the kind of guy who disappears and leaves his mattress on a roof.
You're the kind of guy who leaves the wolf pack and no one notices. Also, he's Nicolas Cage's best friend from National Treasure, which is one of my favorite movies. Frankly, I will take the Doug comparison to heart. I feel like we mentioned this in pod before.
You know who you also look like? Fat guy from Jurassic World or Park.
So yeah, The Hangover is great, and I'll take the Doug.
You'll take. Right.
I'll take one Doug, please. You rewatched Game Night.
Ah, so good. Have we already talked about Game Night?
You have, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I rewatched it. So good.
And The Blue Planet.
I love The Blue Planet. A little bit of that Edinburgh.
Oh, is that? Because they have like 50 of these on Netflix of like.
It's so boring.
These like nature documentaries, and I don't know which are the Edinburgh ones. I just
The Blue Planet, Blue Planet 2. And another one, like Our Planet or something. Like his voice is so soothing.
I do love those. We watch them sometimes in geography class, and oh, you remember? No, yeah, they're really like calming and relaxing, and all the footage is so beautiful.
Like Doug. They're eating dinner and just like put on a little bit of that Edinburgh. Like, the flying fish, yes, you see, it is looking around
Sounds
confused.
like you're Sir Alistair. You Galifianakis.
Cooper. Dude, I'd love to be Cooper.
Cooper's so cool.
I'm the Cooper to your Helms.
I thought that was going to be Cooper to my Doug, and I was going to say, you know what? It's not true, but I'll take it. Anyway, moving on. I watched the
what Dwayne says to Fridge. None!
I want to point out, I put that on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure no one understood it. I hope people did. But yeah, not me and you, but
yeah,
me and another friend.
Well, like more than you.
And it was...
How was it?
It was okay.
How was it, mate?
It was pretty good in that...
Strength my weakness.
It had some pretty scary moments, but the scariest moments didn't actually have the nun in them.
It's just when I turned to my friend.
The thing is, as you can attest to watching it with me in the cinema, in horror movies, at the cinema at least, I often just have my eyes kind of covered, which, you know what,
He also screams. And like there's this constant high pitch, it's like... It's really distracting, so I usually like put on headphones and just look at the subtitles.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to not in real life, but at the cinema, yeah, I don't do great with horror movies, but I went to this one.
Well, like, it's just the jump scares that really get me.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, I opened my eyes my eyes weren't closed the whole time. Okay, there are just a few parts where it gets a little creepy. I avert my eyes slightly.
Yeah,
but
of course.
But there were a few times, especially towards the end, I was like, you know what? I paid for this ticket. I'm gonna watch this movie. So I watched it, and I was like, this actually isn't that scary. And which makes me think maybe the parts that I averted my eyes for example, there's a scene where, basically, it's a girl, a priest, and
where is this going? Where is this going?
And a French Canadian walk into a haunted church. And so the priest gets like, there's some really dumb foreshadowing that's like super obvious, where it's like they have these graves that have bells on them, and then the girl's like, why do they have bells on the graves? And he's like, oh, it's because during the plague they put people there, but in case they weren't dead, then they could ring the bells. And I was like, well, someone's definitely getting buried alive. And so then the priest gets buried alive. And then I was like, all right, this looks like it's going to be bad. I'm just going to kind of avert my eyes a little bit. And I just heard like, it was just like the loudest noise possible. And I was like, what it could possibly, it sounded like a tiger was in the coffin with him. And I was like, what is happening? Apparently it was a snake or something. But yeah, and that makes me think like maybe the parts where I looked away weren't as scary as I think they. So I don't know, maybe I should rewatch this kind of stuff with my, like, just fully attentive. But there were moments that were kind of unintentionally hilarious that helped break up the scariness. Like, there are two separate parts where just the nun herself is like on her own might be creepy, but then there's one part where the girl like walks down this dark corridor and then turns a corner and there's just a room with like 50 nuns just like standing around, and it's the funniest thing for some reason because they're all just kind of like shuffled in there and there's nothing scary about it. And then another scene where they all need to like pray the evil away, and then like the nuns march into the church like this army regiment. There were some pretty scary moments. Like, one of them was where they were all praying. They're like, if we stop praying for 1 second, the evil will come. And then the priest comes in and is like, what are you doing in here? And she's like, I'm praying with all the nuns. And he's like, what nuns? And they're like, no nuns. It sounds weird.
And there were no nuns.
It sounds less scary when I'm describing it. But it's pretty creepy in the moment. There's a terrible one-liner from Frenchie, the French Canadian, where she's like, I can't remember.
Where she's called Frenchie?
No, the guy is called Frenchie. He's like the handsome young adventurer, skeptic or whatever.
Okay.
And so he's fighting the nun at one point, and the nun says something like, you stupid French man or whatever, and he's like, I'm French Canadian, and he shoots her or something. So bad. Really, really bad. The way they do you want to know how they defeat the nun?
I do want to.
So they have some blood of Christ in,
of course,
which by the way, I don't know.
Who doesn't have a little blood of lying around?
I feel like that's in like every movie, and I'm wondering like how much blood is there to go around. Basically, they have to get that on the nun. The big finale, they're like in this pool of water, and then the nun knocks the blood into the water, whatever. And then the girl, she's like, it looks like it's, she's about to get eaten or by the nun or whatever, and then she spits the blood of Christ in the nun's face, and it's like, then it's cuts to black. The nun opens her mouth to scream, just end. The nun also isn't very scary on her own, I'd say. It's kind of like Pennywise, where he's the least scary thing in the movie, which is weird. But yeah, she's not that creepy. I will say, at the end, it ties into the Conjuring universe with some.
This was like the
it's
first
a prequel.
Conjuring, right?
Something like that, yeah. And so it turns out that Frenchie was actually in the first Conjuring at the very start of like a montage of people who were dying. They show that at the end. I didn't get any of it, but Yassine, who I saw.
But Yassine, who is a big Conjuring fan.
Well, he is. He's a huge Conjuring fan.
Is he?
Yeah, he loves horror movies. And then he was like freaking out at the end. His mind was blown. And I was like, yeah, that's. So I guess that's kind of. It's like a cinematic universe. It's worked, which a lot of them don't do. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this.
Why would you ever skip this? Oh, I thought you were skipping my pick.
No, I'll do that too.
I've been watching a bit of Glee.
Oh, we talked about this last time.
I've been watching more. It's not very good, but I've watched it.
But it's a good comfort show.
It's
for your depressing ass life.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, I just do it for the songs mainly.
I can't imagine it's good, but it seems like a worse Pitch Perfect segue into the next thing.
You watch Pitch Perfect?
I did. It just got added to HBO Nordic, and I was like, you know what? I have my whole HBO list of like stuff I should watch, but then I was like, but the Jesse. No Benji.
You need to tell that story.
Tell that later, but
post credit.
But it's still really good. Like I probably
Benji. I've got the magic in me. We're gonna have Aka children.
I should be disappointed or like ashamed that I like it, but I really like it.
Why? Pitch Perfect's an amazing movie.
It's really good. It's really fun.
Glee-esque.
It's like it has obviously dumb moments in it, but it's a really fun time. It has a really sweet ending. I love Jesse. Also, I don't know why they got rid of him. And
how do you not like movies?
I love Benji.
He's in the second one as well, right?
Yeah, but very briefly. He's like just barely in it. Becca is like, I forgot how terrible she is for most of the film, but then she redeems herself, and they all redeem themselves. They do the little breakfast club. It's so good.
You know who's in Pitch Perfect?
Charles Boyle.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute, that looks like a goateed Boyle.
Oh, it was a goatee.
It's Boyle. So good.
Bianca.
I don't. Okay.
Boyle's goatee, which he called Bianca, because it was Harry, like his first cousin Bianca.
Okay, I don't remember.
All right, I hate that I remember it now. Look really lame.
And also some news related to this. Pitch Perfect 4 is happening.
Why is that happening?
Well, I can show you the thing. It happened here. What's her face? The one who ruined the last one. That's really mean. She didn't, but
Fat Amy?
yeah, she didn't ruin it, but her plotline with the dad and everything.
So bad.
Yeah, it kind of made it a lot worse. She posted this picture somewhere here.
God.
Oh, here it is, yeah. So with 4 hearts and all of the cast putting up 4 fingers, and they did the same thing when they announced the third one.
So, very clever.
I don't really know why they're... I feel like it's kind of run out of steam at this point. Like, the last one was quite
really bad.
I thought it was really poorly done. Like, the first... It lost everything, like...
It didn't have a good ending, but, like, it ended.
I don't remember, honestly. I remember...
Because it ends with, like, them being like, we'll always be friends, but then Becca gets, like, her title shot with, like...
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled.
Oh, yeah, that's
not a very good ending, but it's an ending. Like, where do you go from there?
I don't know. Yeah, they shouldn't have made more than one, honestly. I feel like they could have just left it
the second one was alright, but, like...
I didn't like it, but, also...
Das Sound Machine.
That was good. Key was in the second one, actually. They should have made this... Okay, I'll give you the second one.
Key is so good.
Yeah, so, sure, whatever. I don't think they should make it either way. The Change-Up.
Dude.
What is it? I've never heard of this.
It's your boy Bateman and Ryan Reynolds.
What?
And it's so god-awful.
Really?
It's so terrible.
That sounds like such a good combo.
They switch bodies, right? So like
Ryan Reynolds has done like 50 body switch movies. It's insane.
He's so like stay-at-home dad, right?
Okay, looking at this poster, I can already tell exactly what this movie is.
and then Reynolds is like this like playboy kind of guy, right?
Right.
And they're like, oh, it's so
if only we
terrible.
Could have each other's lives.
They're like, I really want to swap lives with you, or like they both say it, right? And then they piss into the same fountain, and then they swap overnight, and then Reynolds, or like now it's Bateman in Reynolds' body, right?
Don't ever say that again. Bateman is in Reynolds' body. I repeat.
So he like Reynolds is up for a movie in it, right? Or like he's like a struggling actor. He's like, oh, I got a big like scene coming up. You need to go do it for me. He says to Reynolds, but it's Bateman, right?
Yes,
it's really confusing. And then he goes there and it's a soft porno. And then at one point, Reynolds tells Bateman about this girl he's been having many sex with, right? And then when
I'm gonna act like he didn't just say that.
and then when Bateman has
when said Bateman too many times.
Then when Bateman is in Reynolds' body, the girl comes over and they have sex, and it's like a really pregnant woman, and like you see the whole thing, and then it's turned off. Like it was so terrible.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds exactly like something you would do. We probably have to hurry this up a little bit, but we're okay. Because I want to do a big thing on Predator and Venom, and then we do the news. So Batman the Animated Series. Because now we're on vacation, I have a little bit more free time, so I was like, I should catch up on like essential superhero stuff that I've missed out on, since this is kind of what I talk about on my channel. Yeah. And Batman the Animated Series, because I love JLU, so that's kind of like the prequel to that.
Yeah.
I came before it, and I've heard it's like the best animated show superhero ever. And I watched the first episode, and it's great. I can totally imagine it being like I would love to keep watching it, when I have the time. The first episode is about Man-Bat. It's this guy. So Batman is a man who dresses up like a bat, and Man-Bat is like a man who turns into a bat
who
mutant.
Dresses up as a man. The way you said that sounded like it was supposed to be a bat.
I really messed that up.
A bat that dresses up like a man.
It's really good. It's really fun. The animation is more over. It's not like JLU. It's more over the top kind of 90s like Scooby-Doo style animation, which kind of took me by surprise. But I like it. And no, it's really good. I'll keep watching it. By the way, this is the first one I think ever where you've watched more stuff than I have.
I know.
So this list is just peppered with Dumb and Dumber and Annie.
Yeah.
So
let's Dumb and Dumber, which is still great.
I love that movie. It's so good.
I love it. It's
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yeah. It's really bad.
Yeah. Sorry, Cary.
Show us your both of them.
I remember that. And I remember the bodysuit he has that makes him look like a vending machine. Yeah, you remember that. Shut up. And then Annie. Was it the Jamie Foxx one or?
Neither. It was just my sister's theater performance.
Oh. And then speaking of Batman the Animated Series, I watched an episode of Justice League Unlimited, which by the way, I'll I'll talk to you about this off air, but I wanted off air. We're not on air. We're not on the radio.
Off the script. I'll talk to you
about this later, but it gave me an idea to do maybe something kind of pod mixed with Ben and Fred watch kind of thing. We'll talk about it later. But basically, I watched the first episode of JLU, so that's basically season 3 of the whole Justice League 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this one. It's where Green Lantern, Supergirl, and what's his name, Green Arrow, and Captain Atom go and like fight this monster. I can't really remember the details. It's like this giant atomic monster that shoots like fire.
Maybe actually. I remember Green Lantern and Arrow going for.
Yeah, it introduces the whole thing. It's good. I love that show. And the thing that stuck out to me, classic one-liner from Green Arrow at the end where he's like all like torn up by the fire, and he shoots an arrow at the monster, and he's like, "Say dirtbag," and he shoots so good, and like the guitar riff comes in. It's so classic. Green Lantern also, there's a moment at the end where, because Supergirl's been kind of reckless forever, but she did help save the day at the end. She's like, "Are you gonna tell me how great I did?" And he's like, "You're just the worst. You're like the worst person, and you suck.
Really?
You suck at everything." And then as he's going away, he's like, "But yeah, you did good." And then it's like that doesn't compensate for all the horrible insults you just. So yeah, no, it's great. I'm gonna keep watching it, and hopefully we can get that idea off the ground that I was talking about. Shane Dawson. I've been watching.
Why are you watching Shane Dawson?
The Shane Dawson Jake Paul series. Now look, okay.
This sounds why.
I haven't watched Shane Dawson in ages. I watched him when back in 2013 when I was first getting to YouTube, and then I kind of stopped, and he's like drastically changed his content since then. And now he does like documentary series kind of thing on YouTube.
Okay.
And he did one with Tana for TanaCon, and he did one for Jeffree Star.
Who's Jeffree Star?
Honestly, I don't know. I should know, but I don't.
Okay.
And then he did one now with Jake Paul. And so I've heard and these get like crazy views, and they've actually gotten like not mainstream media attention, but they get like a lot of like weird, I don't know, the kind of recognition like what's it, not applause, what am I trying to say, like
revenue.
No. What is the word? Praise, I guess. I don't know, there's a better word for it. Like kind of people
attention?
Saying it's like more kind of high, it seemed more highbrow than like the stuff I thought he made. And so I was like very curious, like, oh, is he like actually a documentarian now?
What's the verdict? Is he?
Well,
no.
Okay, I watched the series, and you know what? It's actually pretty good. Like, it's interesting in parts, but it's not. I guess my expectations were too high because I hadn't watched any of the other documentaries, and so I thought like it was like a proper like movie kind of documentary. But it's a YouTube video basically.
Okay.
But like to his credit, he does do research and edit a lot. But I just want to talk about it, but I feel like I don't really have to anymore because I wanted to address everyone like loves this kind of stuff, and I was like, this is the most hilariously over the top like reactions I've ever seen in my life. But now everyone on YouTube is making fun of him for it, so I was like, okay, so people do. It's stuff like some of it is really interesting and like not really interesting. Like the thing is, I'm not invested in this, so like it doesn't really affect me at all. But I was like, you know what, I like, I'm interested in the YouTube kind of community. I want to watch this kind of stuff. And so the thing is though, like he interviews people and that kind of stuff. He did one where he interviewed a therapist because the whole thing is about, is Jake Paul a sociopath? Mm-hmm. And then he like every piece of information she gives him, he's like, what? Like, I just got chills. Oh my, it's like the most like, and
wait, so Jake Paul isn't actually.
No, he is. He shows up later on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and he does like an interview, or like he watches some of Jake Paul's videos, and it's like, it's kind of unintentionally funny sometimes where he's like so over the top, like emotional. He's like, just imagine if your mom used your high school picture for a thumbnail, and it's like super dramatic music and like over the top like stock footage and that kind of stuff.
And is it like supposed to be over dramatic and stuff? Or
well, it's supposed to be like kind of like you're supposed to take it seriously, but like it's hard to when it's very like over dramatic. And like he addressed this criticism, like I respect him for it. He seems like a really nice and like pretty smart guy. It's just sometimes like there's one where he's watching Jake Paul's like dad's videos, and it's so because he has like the over the top music cue like like that, and it doesn't work when it's over like like Vlog Daddy 69 or something.
What?
That's his name on YouTube or something.
Vlog Daddy 69. Are you serious?
It's not Vlog Daddy 69. It's something like Vlog Daddy something.
Vlog
Daddy Paul or something. I don't know.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Jake Paul Dad.
It's gonna be really embarrassing. Okay, Vlog Dad Greg Paul.
Vlog Daddy 69. It's not even Vlog Daddy.
The point is though, he addressed the criticisms and he talked about that. And I honestly, I do think it's better than like a lot of it's kind of like content cop in the term of like research done and like, you know, production value. And he interviewed Nick Crompton, which was way more interesting than I thought it would be, because I was like, that sounds like the dumbest thing ever, but it was actually kind of, he has like a giant mansion. Some parts of it are actually quite interesting, but there are parts of it that are just like, okay, this is clearly played up. And he admitted, he was like, yeah, I want to make it entertaining. I can get that, but just at points it's too much. But anyway, the next 2 parts coming out, I think this week, the final 2 parts, I don't know. So far, I've enjoyed watching it, sometimes unironically, sometimes ironically. Moving on from Daddy 69
to something even worse, I would say. I wouldn't say I watched, but I started watching.
I heard. I sensed.
I experienced. I experienced Ocean's 8, and by that I mean I watched the first 5 minutes and I fell asleep. And the people I was watching.
That bad, really?
No, I was just really tired, and the person I was watching it with got very angry with me.
Was it Yana?
It was Anna. So yeah, and it's so like on the nose Ocean's 11. It's like she's in prison, like I just want to get out and like restart my life, and like as soon as she gets out, we need to get the team together.
But so it's not good.
I wouldn't.
There's no Pitt cameo.
I don't know.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
I fell asleep after 5 minutes, but the beginning was very on the nose Clooney, which is something I say a lot.
I feel like it says that on the DVD cover. On the nose, Clooney.
Directions on how to snort coke for Clooney. On the nose, Clooney.
Also, you watched It.
Yes, I did.
How was that? How was It? Classic.
Pod ends with scream. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, moving on.
By the way, I just want to point this out. Tomorrow we're going to a party. That's all I want to point out. Guys, we have friends.
Guys.
Basically, there's this party, and there was a poll on the Facebook thing on which movie to watch, and it was High School Musical, It, or Mean Girls. None of those sound very appealing, so then Freddie just added Bad Boys 1 or 2, and now that is in the lead.
And that's winning.
And I recruited all my friends. I was like, yo, I'm not saying you have to vote for Bad Boys,
but if not, we're not friends.
And now we're probably going to watch Bad Boys, which is just the best and worst thing Mike Lowry. On the nose, Clooney.
On the nose, Clooney.
Now, on to
Raj. On to Raj. Confusion and fear.
We watched together The Predator.
We did watch that together.
And, oh boy, was it really, really terrible. It was so bad.
Well, I have to say that One Light in the Dark was your boy Keegan.
Okay, we'll get to Keegan. But it was... Also, real quick, just a little reminder from Benedict from the future here. I know we mentioned it before, and I should just stop saying it, but spoilers for The Predator and also for Venom. I don't know if we remembered to say it there, but I just feel compelled to say spoilers. Spoilers for this. Even though we said it, you should know, but spoilers. All right. Okay, back to the show. Overall, okay, it wasn't... I enjoyed it, but that was mainly kind of because we were goofing around a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to point out, because we always kind of say that, we're not those obnoxious, like, teenagers in the cinema who are, like, yelling out stuff. Like, it's just a little... the occasional scream, but it's just, like, you know, whispering stuff to each other a little bit. If it's, like, on a premiere or something where we're next to people, we don't generally. But, yeah, so I just want to point that out, because otherwise we sound like hypocrites.
True.
Which we could never do in this pod. But anyway, it was quite bad. I think this is, along with the movie we'll talk about after this was horribly paced and horribly edited. And because plot lines start and then just go nowhere. They're like really confusing plot lines. Like something that just came to mind was the Predator dog, the one that gets shot in the head.
What was that about?
No, by the way, spoilers. Reminder that there are spoilers here. It gets shot.
Yeah, why does it get shot and then suddenly it's a normal dog?
But then sometimes it isn't a normal dog, and then sometimes it looks like it's going to attack someone, but then someone comes in. I think it was supposed to be like an allegory for the
Jesus.
guy. Yes. The guy from Moonlight who shot himself in the head, but then like survived. Remember him? But the guy from Moonlight who's in this, what's his name?
Mahershala?
Mahershala's not in this. Nettles or something? Maybe that's him, or is that another guy? The guy who's like Muggles. The guy who's like
Without using Muggles is such hate. Muggles.
And he's always putting out cigars in his mouth or whatever. This dude.
Who the hell is that guy?
His name was Gaylord, Nebraska, remember?
What the?
You remember.
Why do you say that? Like it's something every person should know. His name was Gaylord. Gaylord, Nebraska.
Anyway, what were we talking? The
Oh my
dog.
God.
Anyway, there are plot lines that just make no sense or are very confusing. And the movie on the whole, I think possibly due to the reshoots that I believe it underwent, feels really incompetent sometimes, which is very surprising for
Very amateur.
for like, Shane Black, who's an accomplished director. That
Why
sometimes
not Shane White?
but sometimes
Snorts coke.
on the nose Clooney. That sometimes this felt like very, very amateur. And there's weird, like plot-wise, there's just so many weird things. Like, okay, I'll be honest. I missed the first like 2 minutes of this or something because I had to go outside to take a call or something.
Yeah, he left me. He was like, "Yo, I'll be back." I was like, "Excuse me."
And but in the first 5 minutes, I believe I still saw, what's his name? Let's just call him Logan because he was in Logan. Logan,
Wait,
the robot arm man, the main guy.
Can we just call him the Wolverine?
Fine, the Wolverine.
Yes.
It gets so confusing. The Wolverine has an invisibility ball from the Predator.
It's really weird.
And he swallows it.
I don't know why he swallows it.
So then he can turn invisible whenever he wants. But he only uses it like once at the very end of the film.
And then he gives it to his son.
Or something like that. Yeah, and then he mails the insane Predator armor to his home address to
keep them safe, apparently.
where his son is. Like, also, did like FedEx or like the people who mail it, did they not check the alien armor that is in that? Like, what? I mean, maybe there are some things that are probably explained, but like there's some parts that are just very, very confusing. I also don't understand why he would send it there. Like, I guess he doesn't have anywhere else to send it, but like,
Yeah.
there seems like there are a lot of other better scenarios than sending it to where your son is.
Or why not just keep it?
Yeah, you could probably. Everything seems like a better option than sending it to him. Bad effects. There's some good effects, but there's some really bad visual effects. Like especially towards the end.
Keegan's guts are really well made.
In real life. But like the final, which I guess we can talk about now, the finale on top of the Predator ship.
That's so dumb.
Terrible. That was one of the worst.
And then
like,
the guy's legs get cut off or something.
Yeah.
Was that Neville? That wasn't Neville.
No, that was Gaylord Nebraska.
Was it actually Gaylord
I'm
Nebraska?
pretty sure it was, yeah. It starts kind of good, and then it just devolves into just terribleness by the end. There was some good stuff in there, though, I will admit. But I don't feel a connection to any of these people. And, like, I don't
Apart
have to...
from Keegan.
And, like, in these kinds of movies, most of these people are just here to die. Like, I know that. So, like, but you're supposed to, like them. Like, they're supposed to be, like, the likable, crazy bunch. But, like, a lot of them, at the end, after they've all died, he's going through, like, a bunch of items. He's like, let's take this one for Nebraska and this one for Nettles. And I was like, I can't even remember which one was Nettles. Like, was that the guy from Stranger Things or was that the other guy? Like, I felt nothing really for most of them. And you know what, let's go through the cast now.
All right.
Olivia Munn I thought was okay. She was pretty good.
I didn't like her. I liked Boyd.
Boyd was actually, I really liked Boyd. I thought
Boyd is actually...
I would like to see him in more stuff. He's a really charismatic actor. I really like Sterling K. Brown.
Why don't we just skip...
I really like Sterling K. Brown, even though he doesn't get a...
Dude, his death? We didn't...
We turned to like, did he just die? And I was like, no, he didn't just die. But then he never shows up. I was like,
so he did die.
That's what I'm talking about when like stuff just like kind of happened. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, we'll talk about... So here's the thing about Thomas Jane's character. He has Tourette's, right? And I'll be honest, I don't... Like, full disclosure, so... just so people know, I don't really know a lot about, like, Tourette's. Like, as far as... I kind of get, from the stuff I've seen, like, what it does, but, like, I don't really know, it's like a disease or kind of... But, see, I don't want to say anything bad, because I don't really know about it. But so I was listening to the Weekly Planet, and they were talking about this, and they were like, it's not funny, or, like, it's not a good joke to have just someone have Tourette's and just have them, like, say random stuff, which I don't really know about it, but to me that sounds like it's kind of just, like, a disability that some people have. And it's just, like, laugh at the Tourette's guy, which is pretty messed up. Like, if that's... Because during the movie I was like, okay, that's not very funny, but if it's actually offensive, then, like, that's a whole nother level
What are you doing, Thomas? I bet it was, like, all improvised.
Just Thomas Jane was like, yo, this would be hilarious.
You got a brilliant idea.
Trevante Rhodes was fine. Alfie Allen was fine. Yeah, I mean,
the one light in the dark.
The one light in the dark was goddamn Keegan-Michael Key, who
so
was
good.
Amazing. He was such a, like, you...
Baxley's mom.
You turned to me at one point and you're like, I'm pretty sure Keegan just walked on to set and just improvised all of this, and they let him stay. Like, he's definitely the one thing in the movie that made me laugh consistently, and like intentionally and not unintentionally. Also unintentionally a little bit, but like no, he's genuinely funny. He should have been the main character because he's the best.
He kept saying like all this. Excuse me, why did you just highlight that?
What?
Eat your Is that the Tourette's, he says?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't just write this here just as a random note. At one point, Olivia Munn is in the hotel room with all of them because I've just rescued her. And then Thomas Jane, he, like, you know, says, because of the Tourette's, he's like, eat your
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then there's like, it was probably only 30 seconds, but it felt like a 5-minute scene.
Really uncomfortable scene, which is like, did you just say eat my
It was like not funny at all.
Yeah.
And it kept going, and then when it finished, you just turned, you're like, what was that? Because it was the most bizarre, like...
It had no context.
It went on for so long.
It was so improvised as well.
We gotta talk about the Keegan death.
Very, very good.
Just
So
one of
terrible.
the worst things I've ever... And the thing is, if this movie had been like this over the top throughout the whole thing, maybe it could have worked. But it was like just separate moments of stupid ridiculousness where Keegan and Thomas Jane end up like parallel to each other. Mm-hmm. One's impaled on a tree, one's like impaled on a smaller tree or something. I don't know.
Well, Keegan's not impaled on the tree.
Or Keegan's guts are like, or something, yeah. And then they both agree to shoot each other simultaneously at the perfect angle at the perfect time.
Yeah, they're like,
in the middle
and
of
they
the dark.
They don't even count down. They just nod at each other. Like, what if one had pulled the trigger prematurely? Then the other would just
Keegan
be like...
just bleeds out slowly.
And what if one of them had missed?
It was so bad. Oh my god. And then there's, by the way, there's a ton of stuff we could go through with this, but like there's just the brief thoughts that I remember. The ending then, from the beginning, the whole thing is there's a like case on the Predator ship. What's in the case? And then
It wasn't the box.
and they open the box, and then they find out. I was kind of curious what it was going to be, but they find out it's a Predator fighting armor that humans can wear. Remember this?
Oh yeah, and he's like, it's my new armor. Like, why do you get it? Of all people, you incompetent fool.
You mailed the Predator armor to your son. The ending with the new Predator armor, I was just like, it looked terrible.
It looked really bad.
That was the dumbest design I've ever seen in my life. That was a pretty disappointing ending. Overall, a spectacular mess of a film.
Yeah.
That I did enjoy watching.
that I enjoyed.
I wasn't bored by it. It was just really bad. And then speaking of a similar thing, Venom... Knock knock.
You think what I'm thinking? Knock knock, let the devil in. Also, I listened to that song a lot on the way here, and there's at least 3 knock knocks let the devil in it.
Really? Because there were no in the... Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Of course.
So, what did you think of Venom?
I like...
Knock knock.
On a critical view...
It's really bad?
I wouldn't say it's really bad, but it's not a very good movie, right? No. But I actually enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I really did like it.
See, that's where I think we differ, because
I'm a man and you're a boy.
I don't think I would ever watch this again in full, because there were a lot of parts that were kind of boring at the start. But I think certain scenes I would definitely watch again. And like chunks of it, like the middle chunk mainly, I would totally watch again. But alright, good things. Hardy.
No, he was really good.
There were points. I think he's best when he's talking to
Venom.
Yeah, like when he's with Venom. But other points when he's like,
do that?
when he's like with the what's it called, the shopkeeper, or like with his annoying neighbor. He's like, "Can you turn your music down?" Like, I know he's having like, you know, the Venom symbiote affecting him, but sometimes also his accent. There's some stuff where I'm like, Hardy, what are you doing? But overall pretty good. Effects, the Venom effect was really good.
Very good.
The Hardy Venom dynamic was good. Some action, like when basically from when he gets the symbiote to the motorcycle chase to the apartment fight to the facility fight, that was all great.
And also the end where he
fights Riot.
No. Oh, that's not a fight then, I guess. But when he eats the guy's head like a turd in the wind, I like that scene.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, you know, I'm gonna save this for last because that is the highlight of this movie, clearly.
Yeah, and I don't know why you put it in positives. I should have a whole thing for itself.
But as far as other stuff, I just note down some stuff. Overall, yeah, I talked about in my review, like the critical, really, like, you know, this is not gonna be a good review. Like, it's just there's stuff that doesn't make any sense. Their plot lines don't really work. All that kind of stuff I've talked about in my review. We're just gonna talk about little moments here that I noted down. First of all, The Venom makeout. What do you think of
I
that?
love that.
Favorite scene in the movie. I mean, I'd heard before I went in, like, Venom makes out with Tom Hardy at some point, and I was like, it was less weird than I thought it was going to be, because it was actually in Michelle Williams' body, or, like, on Michelle Williams' body, because I just thought Venom, like, just made out with Tom Hardy for no reason at some
Comes
point.
out like the thing where they're like,
just Frenches him. But it was still pretty weird. I thought Riz Ahmed was quite bad. The villain kind of sucked.
he was.
As far as, do you think this should have been rated R?
No.
Really?
Well,
because I don't think it would fix it. But
when you say, also like they would add more things, or just the movie in itself that it is now, and then rated R, because that would like.
No, like they would fix, like they would add like blood
and then I think it should have been.
Because there were parts where like he bites people's heads off, cut away all the time, or there was no blood. And I pointed this out in my review. It reminded me of, do you remember in Black Panther where Killmonger like slits the throat?
Yeah. No,
and,
I saw your review.
Yeah. And like there's no like that. I think that's one of like that just stuck out to me because it made it seem so like cheap. It just took me out of it for a second.
Yeah.
And it felt a bit like that here, where it's like there's no blood at all. It's like for something that's trying to be so edgy and cool and whatever, like it's kind of weird that you don't go that route. Let's see. Oh, okay, I'll point this out. This is more of the like critical part, but I mentioned in my review, and I'm such an idiot for forgetting about this. I was like, I'm not sure, but it seems like a lot was cut out of this film. And then I remembered, I saw, and this is one of my favorite headlines of all time, like a week before the movie came out, Tom Hardy did an interview, and he was like, yeah, my about 40 minutes of the movie were cut, and they were all my favorite parts. And it's like, first of all, that headline makes it sound like they asked Hardy what his favorite parts were, and then cut them out of the film. Just specifically. But besides that, so apparently there were like 40 minutes of this film that were cut out, and Hardy's like, that was the best stuff in the movie.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is so dumb. Also, why would you say that, Hardy? Like, I feel like you're not supposed to say that.
That's not very good promo.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense of why it feels so choppy and weird in points. The ending was in the trailer. That's just, the turd in the wind thing.
Yeah.
Final fight sucked. Boring start. Stuff that isn't explained, like how Venom survives the fire, how Michelle Williams gets back to the facility.
The Michelle Williams thing, I understand why you hate, because I hate that too. But like the Venom thing, I'm like, you know what? Probably a bit of Venom survived.
It's weird that they didn't set anything up, because like all he said was like, yeah, I'll die in fire. And then like he doesn't die in the fire. And like at no point he was like, yeah, but if my host is really cool or something, then I don't die in the if he's a really cool dude.
If his name's Eddie Brock.
I compared it to B-Movie, which...
Yeah, that I did not understand.
And then there's the Eminem song that...
I like the Eminem song.
I think it's fine, but the thing is, in the credits, it came on, and the thing is, I hadn't heard the song. I specifically didn't listen to it before going into this. I'd only seen it on Twitter, the thing where it's like, Venom, knock knock, let the devil in. And so, I was waiting for that to come in the chorus, and so it's like, Venom, and I was ready to like, knock knock, but then it doesn't happen. And
that's like one of the first things he says.
And I totally missed it. And I'm so upset with myself. I missed the knock knock.
Knock knock, the devil in.
And then the post-credit scene,
let's get serious.
Which I feel was specifically made for our enjoyment, because
it was so incredibly wonderful.
I knew I'd seen like some thumbnails and some Instagram posts, so like I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen. And then it comes, we walk into the prison, and there's just the thickest Harrelson sitting with the worst wig,
a ginger afro.
And he's
Cletus Cassidy or whatever his name is.
He gives a terrible performance for just like the 2 seconds he's there.
Yeah, shall we skip the serial killer man or whatever the he says?
And he gives one of the cheesiest lines I've ever seen in a superhero movie.
And when I get out, there will be carnage. And he gives us
the nuttiest smile.
The nuttiest smile.
It was so good. I don't think I've ever seen you laugh that much in a cinema when just Harrelson appeared on the screen. Oh, it was horrible. But honestly, I kind of would like to see another one of these.
Me too.
I would not say no to that. Now, oh boy. Okay.
Oh jeez.
We always this up. How do we always... I'm supposed to be running this thing. So now the news. We've definitely missed some stuff out, but it's been about 2 months, so cut us some slack. We're going to speed around a bit of this, but the more interesting stuff we're going to dive into more, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Watchmen TV series is going ahead on HBO.
Ooh.
You excited?
I am excited.
Damn right. Moving on. Daredevil Season 3. Have you seen the trailers?
I have. Well, maybe.
There have been 3...
I've seen the one where there's like... I've seen 2 of them, I think, where he like fights the other Daredevil.
Yeah. That's apparently like a really big plot line in the comics where Wilson Fisk gets out of prison and he starts like framing Daredevil to look like enemy number 1. Classic story. Looks great. There was Classic Fisk. There was another trailer with Bullseye, who's the new villain, who's like, and it looks like it could be the new Bernthal, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
It looks really, really good. It's coming out on Friday. It's a refreshing feeling to feel like genuinely like excited for the Netflix show.
The whole season coming out?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm genuinely dying to see this. Henry Cavill is out as Superman, but in as The Witcher.
Ooh.
Do you know what The Witcher is?
Well, I know. Is it based on the game The Witcher as well?
Yeah, but there are also apparently books. But yeah, it's the games based on the books. So yeah.
That I actually look very much forward to see. I've played a bit of the game and I like it.
It's going to be a Netflix show.
Ooh.
And also, it's kind of interesting. Boss Logic, I don't know if you know this guy. He does like fan art kind of stuff, but like really well done stuff. Like it looks really, really legit. And he did like a mock-up of Henry Cavill as The Witcher. And then like a week later it was announced. And he was like, yo, where's my money? So that's kind of impressive. The Captain Marvel trailer, did you see this?
I have, and I think it did not look very good at all.
I think it looks good. It wasn't a very... It didn't blow me away. Like, I was like, yeah, that looks like a good Marvel movie.
I was like,
I think they put a little bit too much into the teaser, like, of her wondering, like, where she is and, like, who she's... Like, I was like, maybe save that for the like, full trailer or full movie, because that got a little confusing, even for me. Watching, I mean, I'm an idiot, but
I mean, I cannot follow anything that goes on ever.
That just seemed like kind of like a bit much to cram into a teaser. I think Brie Larson looks great as Captain Marvel. I like the de-aged Fury, the de-aged Coulson.
I do like the de-aged Fury. I do not remember the de-aged Coulson.
It just looks like Coulson, but with like a 90s haircut.
Oh.
It's pretty good. I suspect there's going to be another de-aged MCU cameo in there. Maybe a little Alexander Pierce from the second Captain America. Remember the old man Hydra who's like, I'm the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm actually a Nazi. Yeah. That's his direct line. Or maybe like Tony Stark on TV or something. I can totally imagine seeing that happening. The Infinity War pager. The Old Lady Punch. That was pretty good. Very confusing to people who...
It's a very long time since I watched this.
She punches an old lady in the face for no reason, apparently.
Oh.
But it's because she's a Skrull, presumably. But
she's
people...
a what?
Yeah, exactly. People who don't know what Skrulls are going to be so confused in the middle of the trailer. Captain Marvel just punches an old lady in the face. But Skrulls are the villains who, like, change shape.
Ah.
And so I think there's gonna be a big reveal where someone in the MCU has been
boggart.
I suspect there's gonna be a reveal where someone has been a Skrull all along, maybe like Nick Fury or Hawkeye. I don't know, someone who's not like a major character. I think is gonna be
Iron Man.
The ending where she powers up is pretty good. Yeah, you don't remember. And then there was a not big controversy, but there was a thing where a bunch of people were like, I mean, there's a whole feminist thing that people are talking about, like, why do they need a woman to... Whatever, let's not get into it. It's stupid, is what we'll say. But there was a thing where people were like, oh, why isn't she smiling in the trailer or the poster or whatever, which is, like, the dumbest thing possible. And
why is that important?
Yeah, like it makes no sense.
She's just smiling. She landed the role of her lifetime.
And then Brie Larson, to kind of mess with people, she took, you know that face app where you can make people smile?
Yeah.
She took a bunch of Marvel posters of, like, Captain America and Iron Man, because they're not smiling on them, obviously. Yeah. They're not, like, they're always doing, like, they're serious. They're, like, smolder chisel face or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she gave them, like, fake smiles and looked stupid. That was pretty funny. I think it looks good, but the trailer didn't blow me away, but I'm really, really excited. Joker, have you seen this stuff?
I have. I don't think it looks very good, actually.
Really?
His makeup?
Yeah.
I'm not for it. It's too far away from the, like, original Joker look, I feel.
That's fair, but I think I like how it looks because it's, like...
It's different.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Ledger.
Well, no.
Shut up real quick. It's kind of like Ledger, but I like how, because it's set in the 80s, and it's supposed to be like a very kind of real world kind of thing, apparently. And like a gangster film, sort of. And, or not a gangster, yeah. What am I saying? But
it's set in the 20s, guys.
But I think for that, it looks like something a person in the real world, like if they were trying to look like a clown and murder people.
No, yeah.
Would pay, I would be uncomfortable if I was in the same room as that guy.
Yeah, but it's just not Joker, I feel.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks cool, personally.
Like, I like Joaquin.
There was the first look of him, and I don't get why they do these. They did the same thing with Eddie Brock for Venom. Like, it was like the first look at Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
He's just walking around.
Oh no, it was just a picture of Joaquin Phoenix, and I was like, it's just Joaquin Phoenix. But apparently they pulled a fat meme on Affleck. This character's name is Arthur Fleck, aka A. Fleck. Affleck, which is just
clever.
Yeah, really clever, especially because Affleck is like in rehabilitation now for like alcoholism and stuff, and they're just messing with like, yo, check out this Joker movie you're not part of.
Oh my god, that's
poor
horrible.
Affleck. Yeah. No,
why is Affleck in
because he has like
Rehabilitation.
his alcoholism came back or something. He said he's doing better, so that's good. But yeah, it seems like a weird time to do this meme. Yeah, and then there's the official look and the set videos and everything. I think it was cool. James Gunn is
Why not James Pistol?
He's going to be writing and directing possibly Suicide Squad 2. So Marvel kind of screwed him over big time. So now he's jumping over to
DC.
the like equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of hilarious because a very similar thing happened with Joss Whedon in Avengers and Justice League. But I don't know. I think that sounds great. I'm way more excited for Suicide Squad 2 now. Also, Batista, who's been a big James Gunn advocate this whole time. He's like, yo, where do I sign? And I really
Batista. I really want him in that.
I think they might, if he gets on, people have been saying he might be Bane, which I think could really work.
I could see that.
And I think he'd be more kind of comic book Bane than Tom Hardy was. Even though I love Tom Hardy as Bane, I think he'd be more like just like insanely buff and like frightening.
Yeah.
Suck at Hardy and your weak and skinny body.
Your frail arms.
But yeah, no, that sounds good. Bond 25 director is going to be, and I'm sorry that I will probably mispronounce this, Cary Joji Fukunaga, who's directed episodes of True Detective and your favorite film, Beasts of No Idris Elba.
Ah, yes.
That sounds pretty good.
I
haven't seen either of those, but I've heard they're good. It does kind of point to maybe bringing Elba in because he was in Beasts of No Nation. I don't know, but apparently Craig's still on. And also I don't know if this happened because it's been so long since we had the last pod. It might have been before, like we might have talked about it, but there was rumors that Elba was going to be Bond, and then Elba, like, I don't know why he did this, but he's not Bond. But he posted a thing on Twitter. He was like, "The name's Elba, Idris Elba," and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then like 5 minutes later, he was like, "But don't believe the hype, guys." And I was like, "What? Why would you
Idris,
tweet
you
that?"
fool?
Yeah, it was like, why? Also, completely unrelated, but I just remember Idris kind of sucks at Twitter because he posted. I remember the week Infinity War came out, like the week after, he posted on Twitter. He was like, "I'm gonna miss this guy." And he posted a picture of Heimdall, and then like the top thing was like, "I haven't seen the movie yet." And I was like, Idris. But no, I want Idris to be. I would rather see Idris as Bond than another Daniel Craig. So I feel like Craig is done
with life in general. Craig is Bond, and then Idris as the villain.
Or Idris as Bond and Craig as
and Fukunaga as Bond.
People are saying also that Jim
Halpert.
John Krasinski should be the villain because he was
John Krasinski. What is that?
He was Idris's adversary on The Office a bit when Idris was on The Office.
I haven't seen Idris in The Office yet.
It's so Charles Minor. Anyway.
Why not the Underminer?
I thought you were gonna go with Charles Major. I'm really disappointed. The Mandalorian series coming.
Oh, that's a very soothing word.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. ASMR.
Mandalorian.
It's the new Star Wars show coming to the Disney streaming service.
Never fucking mind.
Which, by the way, that Disney streaming service is sounding pretty damn great. Which, for some other reasons, we'll talk about in a sec. But this series is coming to us, produced by Jon Favreau, your boy Chef.
Oh, my boy Chef?
Yeah, and so it's going to be...
My boy Happy?
Yeah, your boy Happy. It's going to be... So look, I don't know, as we've established in this pod, you know nothing about Star Wars, and yeah. I know...
Very little about
I know more
else.
I know more than you, but still not a lot of the lore. You're right. So I didn't really know what a Mandalorian was. Apparently it's like warrior mercenaries, but it's like basically, you know, Boba Fett and Jango Fett?
Yes, I do.
More like Billy Crash Fett. Sorry. Billy Crash Fett.
Can you believe what I just said?
I am crazy today. So, I can show you the picture. It's basically just a Boba Fett looking guy.
The Mandalorian?
So, yeah, it's this. So they have basically, they're like an army of like, or not army, they're people of like warrior mercenaries. It's going to be set between episodes 6 and 7 about this badass bounty hunter guy who's going on adventures. It's going to be 10 episodes, $10 million per episode, which I think is like Game of Thrones kind of money. That premise, that kind of thing alone just sounds awesome to me. That sounds like kind of Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, not Mission Impossible, like
Fast and Furious.
like a fun like adventure romp with this guy just going through the Star. That sounds awesome. And then the directors they revealed are going to be Dave Filoni, who directed some Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars stuff.
Dave Baloney. Jeez.
I knew it was coming. Deborah Chow, who did Jessica Jones, some episode of Jessica Jones. Rick Famuyiwa, who did Dope, which I love. Bryce Dallas Howard, who you know as
Dallas, Texas.
You know as what's her name from Jurassic World? The Claire girl.
The Claire.
Claire.
I do love the Claire.
She's directed a short film, apparently. Fine. And Taika Waititi.
I love Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he's going to do an episode. And I'm assuming Jon Favreau's going to do one as well, since he's, on board. So, honestly, that sounds amazing. I'm really excited for that. Spider-Man Homecoming 2 had a bunch of set photos. So, they've showed the black suit he's going to have, the new red suit he's going to have, which looks awesome.
Is his Venom?
No, it's like a stealth suit. Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. The villain with like the fishbowl on his head. We talked about this. He didn't have the fishbowl in the pictures, but presumably he'll have that in the film. They've been doing some stuff in London, in Venice. Nick Fury's been there. There's a great picture of Nick Fury and Spider-Man on like one of those, what are they called, gondolas in Venice.
Yeah.
They're just like going around like tourists. It looks really fun. Jon Favreau's there. Recently there were ones with Peter and Michelle. You haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming, have you?
No.
Well, they're like, he's swinging around with Zendaya, who plays Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I think, so from my understanding, this is going to be about like an international field trip that like we take with like to London or Berlin or whatever.
They take it to Venice and then stuff's going to go down and he's going to be like, hey, I'm Spidey.
Yeah, I think, or like, they're going to go like either to London or Venice or something, and then I think, S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to show up and be like, hey, Mysterio's here, kind of, can you help us with that? And he's like, yeah, okay. And honestly, that sounds awesome to me, because
I'd watch that.
I love Spider-Man Homecoming, seeing him go on like this kind of, international trip like we've done with our school kind of thing, that sounds great.
Where you then turn into Spider-Man?
Yeah, that one time I stopped Jake Gyllenhaal trying to destroy the world. And the whole thing, I think him and Zendaya are going to have great chemistry. This is one of my most anticipated movies next year. I cannot wait for this. And then Avengers 4, Ruffalo's at it again. That's the subtitle for Avengers 4. So Ruffalo is up to his old memes where he's accidentally spoiling stuff. Except now they're doing, because him and Tom Holland have like the reputation for spoiling stuff, so now they're doing it on purpose. So he revealed the title on Jimmy Kimmel or something, but then they like blurred it, like they bleeped out what he said. But the rumor for a while has been it's going to be called Avengers Annihilation, and based on the way you can see his mouth moving, it seems like he said Annihilation, which I think initially I was like, that sounds, but it's growing on me. I think it sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. But a lot of some people are now saying
Ruffalo f***s it up again, but it was planned.
Some people are saying if you dilute the audio or something, I don't know how to do it, you can hear him say Avengers The Last Avenger, which, and now people are saying like, that's going to be the title. It's not going to be Avengers The Last Avenger. That is the worst title I've ever heard in my, like, if it was called The Last Avenger alone, like maybe, but I'm fairly sure they wouldn't.
Yeah, but there's so many Avengers
still.
Yeah,
Avengers 4, The Last Avenger. Like that, like, I guess it kind of plays off Captain America, The First Avenger, but still, no, that's not going to be it. If that's it, I will delete this podcast.
Please be it.
And then there was actual spoilers, kind of. If you don't know about this, skip ahead. Not spoilers, but a toy thing was released, and it shows, you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. By the way, spoilers, or not spoilers, but like if you don't know anything about Avengers 4, skip ahead. You haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, but in it, they go into the quantum realm to save Michael Douglas's wife, and in there, that's where Scott ends up in the end.
Yeah, because they like,
turn to
disappear.
dust. Yeah, and there's probably going to be time. People said there's going to be time travel with Connor. Oh my god!
There's going to be time with Connor.
There's going to be some time travel with the quantum realm, and so there were toys released of Thor and I believe Rocket in the quantum realm suits from Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that kind of confirms that. So yeah, it looks good, except also Thor in like this bright white like tech suit with his giant axe looks kind of stupid. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
He's got the axe with him?
Yeah, in the quantum realm. I don't know. I guess it shrinks with him or something. I don't know. We have to really like buzz through these. Loki and Scarlet Witch shows. I'm making a whole video on this, but basically through the streaming service, there's going to be also Loki and Scarlet Witch shows. Nice. I thought we could talk about what they could be, but we don't have enough time. The Loki show, I guess, could be set on Sakaar in Thor Ragnarok, like between when he lands there and when Thor gets there, and just gets up to Adventures. And I don't really know about Scarlet Witch, or maybe it'll be after Avengers 4 because they all come back probably.
I don't think Loki comes back.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people speculate he's alive. I don't know.
If he's alive, then he's done that a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's too many times. Also, I'm sorry, I suck at planning these. We shouldn't front load these because we have so much news now that we can't get to. Birds of Prey casting doesn't matter. Hellboy poster doesn't really matter. It looks cool. Skip all these. Yeah, why did I put the Holmes and Watson trailer?
Oh, we need to talk about this though.
It looks bad, right?
Yes, it looks it's terrible.
It doesn't look very good. Creed 2 trailer looks so good.
It does look pretty good.
Rocky Drago.
Do you think Rocky and Drago or Drago will fight?
Nah, maybe like Rocky just pulls out a gun in the middle of the match. It looks incredible, maybe very emotional because I'm so invested in these characters. When the Rocky
I don't know
theme
why
came
you
on,
like Creed 2 so much, or just Creed in general.
because it's so good.
Creed is good, but like why?
Because it
And you haven't even
inspires me.
seen Rocky 3.
That's not the one where he fights Drago.
No, but you haven't seen Rocky 3.
I mean, that's also fair.
That's the best Rocky.
So Creed has a kid now. His wife's going deaf. Rocky is probably going to die of cancer. I rewatched the first Creed, and I was like...
You make it sound so depressing.
Well, yeah, I was like, there's
Creed
a lot
has-
of stuff going on here that I totally forgot about. But yeah, his wife is like... Tessa Thompson's probably going to... I don't know if he married her, but she's probably going to be deaf now.
Why?
Because she was going deaf from last, remember?
No.
That's why she made music. Yeah, I didn't remember either, and that's like one of my favorite films. Victor Drago, I don't think... Acting-wise, I don't think he's going to do a lot of acting, but I think acting-wise he's going to be pretty bad because he's a professional boxer. I looked this up.
Is
He looks terrifying. Like, in the trailer, I was like,
Yeah.
that is the... I would be horrified to have to fight that guy. The little Rocky Drago stare down.
Oh, that I look forward to.
God, I wrote way too many notes. I'm just going to say, I like that this trailer ended on a hopeful note because the poster and the first trailer kind of like more dark, like he's probably going to lose. And like he's being...
If he loses again...
Yeah, he
then
can't lose again. But like I think he's going to lose initially because he's focusing too much on it. He's not giving enough attention to the things that matter, like his family, like Rocky, like Bianca, and his child. And then he's going to, at the end, he's going to like figure out like... Because at the end of the trailer, it's like, when I stepped in that ring, it wasn't all about me. And then it's like, oh, and then he hugs Rocky and Bianca. It's so good. And I think he's going to realize...
So you think he's going to fight Drago and
lose
then
horribly.
and
Yeah, he's
then-
going to get the kicked out of him. And then he's going to like...
You know you can't kick in boxing.
And then he's gonna like learn what's really important in life, and then using the power of friendship, he's gonna defeat him.
Say hello to my fists. This one's called Honor, and this one's called My Buddies.
Fantastic Beasts 2 trailer looks good.
It does. Oh, dude, it looks really good.
Aladdin teaser. Did you see this?
I have seen it.
The music's good. Doesn't show much.
I can't wait for Big Willie.
I'm looking forward to Big Willie too.
Big Willie too.
Still Willie. And I totally forgot about this, but Guy Ritchie's directing it.
Why not Dude Poorly? Dude Perfect.
Who did
Guy Ritchie.
Sherlock Holmes and the new King Arthur and a bunch of stuff, and Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is a weird choice to direct this. But anyway, I don't know. I'm excited. Bumblebee trailer, got nothing to say about it. It looks good.
Dark Phoenix trailer.
You see this?
I did. It looks all right.
I think it looks good, but it also looks kind of like very X-Men generic. Like it has all the X-Men cliches. Also, their costumes look really bad. But besides that, I don't know. Everyone's hating on this.
I don't know.
Everyone's hating on this, but I think it looks really good. I love the cast and like these young trilogy movies.
You love the thing that Dwayne removes in the Fast and the Furious
by flexing.
I
do. I think
it's very good.
the thing is the Magneto and Charles dynamic is like the most fascinating thing in these young X-Men movies. But what?
Magneto and Charles dynamic is fascinating. What a nerd.
But I think we've seen it so many.
Kurt Wagner is my favorite X-Man.
I think we've seen it too many times now, and it's kind of.
Is Magneto going bad now?
Well, yeah, it was resolved in the last film, and he was at the end. He was like, you're not so bad, Charles," and he's like, "Yeah, you're pretty good too." But then now he's bad again, and I don't think they should have given Magneto the line "and nobody cares" because that gave everyone on Twitter the perfect like meme to use in response. Like X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer drops, nobody cares. But honestly, I think it looks pretty good. And then the Aquaman 5-minute preview.
I haven't seen the 5-minute preview.
Oh, well, yeah, they released a 5-minute preview.
Like the first 5 minutes of the movie?
No, like a trailer that was 5 minutes long.
Oh, then I have seen it.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks way better. I'm sorry, we're way too tired now. It looks really good. I'm gonna talk about it in the video soon. Did you have any thoughts on it?
It was pretty good.
It was a trailer.
Like the
comedy looks really bad.
Underwater CGI thing, I'm not really for.
Yeah, but I think looking at it like in more of a I don't know what to say. Like looking at the thing as a whole, I think it's like a style of it being very over the top, and that's why I feel like Mara's wig really sticks out. But like in the grand scheme of the whole film, I think it's gonna be better because it's all very comic booky and like ridiculous. What do you think of the Aquaman costume? The Aquastoom.
The Aquastoom.
Sorry. I think it looks good. I think he pulls it off more than I thought he would.
Aquastoom.
The humor's really bad though. I didn't think it was very funny. When he's like, I could have just peed on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I laughed really hard.
It's like, yeah, no, it looks good. And now we're gonna bring back
The Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise spotted riding a Kawasaki Ninja H2 on the set of Top Gun Maverick.
Dude.
Oh, it's a motor. I thought it was a plane. Well, he looks very happy to be there. So good for Cruise. I'm excited for
Dude,
that.
I'm really excited to see Top Gun 2.
Now, finally, for some announcements. I definitely missed some stuff also. It's been 2 months.
It's been 2 months.
I get way too tired when we do these.
Because of your stupid face.
I definitely missed some stuff. A bunch of people sent a bunch of stuff. But basically, the stuff I can remember, I sent you this. Richard on the email sent the Office pics. Remember that, where our faces were photoshopped onto the...
Oh yeah.
It's very good. Thank you, Richard. Teen Movie Geek made this video for the end of the pod on Twitter, which this is like my favorite video ever. It's the best thing. I'll insert that here. Thank you, Teen Movie Geek. That was so good.
Let me ask you guys a question. Daddy loves who?
Me.
Daddy loves who?
Who? Pooh?
Why did you say that, Dad?
No, I'm a horologist.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Cork. I'm kind of like the leader in here.
JC Comics. I just thought it was a funny comment.
Benji.
No, Benji. He commented on one of our pods. I finally watched Rampage, and when Dwayne got shot, I cried. I laughed. Just very good.
Very good.
I just want to say,
Cried.
the comments in general have been great on the pods. YouTube Rewind Disintegrate. This is the most random thing, but I just had this thought and I want to put it out there so I look like a genius when it happens. YouTube Rewind this year is 100% going to end with like half the YouTubers turning to dust. Just saying, putting it out there, I'm a genius if this happens. I just want to mention I've become Jim from season 3 of The Office.
And that me and Pam are not together.
In that, okay, can I just point out the amazing similarities here? I've left the place that I used to be with all my friends for a while, right? Sorry, it sounds like I'm about to cry.
I just need to barf.
And I'm going to a different place now. I
Yeah.
also, it's also, that place has a great view, you know?
Yeah.
Just like Stanford does in The Office. And if that wasn't enough, also I have the help, of course. He doesn't actually have the help in season 3, but that doesn't matter. Also,
So you're actually straying so far away from the help that it's unbelievable.
Also, I bike to school every day, and Jim also starts biking to school to work in season 3, and he's like gonna come to the office really sweaty, and I discovered that on my first week as well, but now I fixed it because I'm just that good. I'm Halpert anyway, and that leads into the last thing we're gonna talk about. Last time I talked about why they would insert a piano in Brussels airport because it's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
The BHL angry section.
And then someone commented we should totally have a segment where BHL angrily rants about things. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty funny, but I don't have anything to be angry about. And then I thought of something. That I did.
Frederick's face.
And so I thought of one thing that I do have a lot of angry ranting to do, and that relates to my gym-esque biking in the morning. So if I can just do a little angry rant here at the end when I'm way too tired to be doing this.
All right.
So I bike to school every day, right?
Yes.
And there are a lot of people on the because everyone bikes here in Denmark, so there are a lot of people on the bike path, and I come across some interesting characters who are just the worst people in the entire universe.
My mom.
People who stop abruptly in the middle of the bike path. It's like stopping in a highway. You don't do it.
You don't do it.
Because I would crash. And also, this one lady...
Really crash?
This one lady who did it, I was like, okay, if you're stopping because there's like a parade of ducklings or something going across the road, fine. She stopped to take a bite out of her apple. And I was like... Then also, people, middle-aged Danish businessmen who think they're in the Tour de France while they're biking, they like go super fast and they wear their like biking uniforms, whatever. I'm just trying to get to school on time, and you're trying to ram me off the road so you can live out this Lance Armstrong fantasy. I don't want to say all middle-aged Danish businessmen are bad who bike to work, because my dad is a middle-aged Danish man who bikes to work, but also he's not a total idiot about it, I assume. I've never biked with him, but I'm guessing...
I don't associate with him.
I'm guessing he's not, because these people, like, I guess, like, good for you for adding some excitement to your, like, mundane life, but this is not the place to do it where you could kill me in the middle of the road. Then also, people who don't use the hand signals, I don't know if this is a Danish thing, but when you bike, you put up your hand to indicate if you're going left or if you're stopping, whatever. People just suddenly turn into the lane, almost knocked me off on bike the other day. What are you doing?
Yeah, the fuckers.
By the way, this is all played up, but I'm not really like this in real life.
No, he is.
Please don't think that. Also, people who bike next to each other and take up the whole path, and then I have to ring the bell to get them out of the way. And finally, people who smoke and are biking right in front of you, because when I'm biking, it's like a 30-minute bike ride, right?
Yeah.
So it takes. I'm breathing very heavily because it's intense exercise, and then
I will die from second-degree smoking.
and then when they're in front of you smoking, and then like I just have to inhale it and die. So
I'm forced to die.
So that's been the angry BHL section this week. Probably the last, because that's really the only thing I'm mad about in life. But
Annoying bikers.
yeah, but I just had to get that off my chest.
Well,
So that's been the Poorly Planned podcast. That's been the Poorly Planned this week. We will be back. Who knows when? That's the beauty of this now. We don't have any specific schedule.
Commitment.
We may be back this month. We may be back in November. We may be back in December.
may not be back at all.
Maybe you'll never hear from us again.
Maybe we'll die today.
But I think that's been it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, BHL Hudson _ My brain like melts every time we do one. I don't know if it's because this room is kind of hot or like I don't know, but like my brain doesn't work anymore. Anyway, yeah, we'll work on that in the future. We'll open a window or something next time.
So that you can say underscore.
BHL _ Hudson. You find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson. Email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Instagram at fdalgard. You can find me on Steam at awesomefungus. I've changed my name. And you can find me on Twitter at FDK_DaltSniper. And you can find me on YouTube as FDK Gaming, which at one point we'll probably be doing a little collaboration.
You know we will. So, thank you. I think that's the show for this week.
Oh, it's been a good show.
It's been it's been a show with
Baxley's mom.
It's been a show with Baxley's mom. It can't be that good. So, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Burn up, burn up, burn, 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 burn.